Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So stimulus checks have been approved for up to $1,600 going out to some Americans. Plus we have 4 other checks going out as well this year in 2024. So we're going to be going over all 5 of those checks, how much you can expect to receive, and who all is going to be receiving them. Plus it looks like another government shutdown is going to be averted as congressional leaders finally reached a deal. They will have a few more days to go ahead and pass that and get it to Biden's desk to be signed into law. But it's possible that the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, might also be booted from his role as the House Speaker, much like Kevin McCarthy was before him. So we'll be covering that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $9,000 in free stocks or $9,000 in free cash in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Webull. All you got to do is once you click on that link, it's just to open up a free account and then deposit at least 1 penny. At that point, Webull will be sending you at least 3 free stocks worth up to $9,000. And once again, if you do not want to invest at this point in time, all you have to do is just sell those stocks for what they're worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video, and that in fact is that Congress reached a deal to avert a government shutdown. They are going to do another short-term expansion before doing a longer-term deal, probably in March, unless they just continue kicking the can down the road. So according to The Hill, congressional leaders have reached a deal to avert a government shutdown next week, landing on a 2-step stopgap bill that will keep the lights on in Washington into March, according to 3 sources familiar with the proposal. Under the deal, the new government funding deadlines will be March 1st and March 7th. The agreement comes ahead of Friday's shutdown deadline and a second deadline on February 2nd. The proposal, which the House and Senate must approve by Friday night to avoid a partial shutdown, will give the House and Senate more time to complete work on the 12 appropriations bills. Congressional leaders announced a deal on a top-line spending numbers last weekend, but appropriators needed more time to hash out particulars in each funding bill. The announcement of the 2-step continuing resolution is sure to anger conservative House Republicans who are traditionally opposed to stopgap legislation and have been averse to GOP leadership cutting deals with Democrats. So basically, we're going to have a few Republicans at least who are not all that happy with the new House Speaker and Mike Johnson, I guess, cutting a deal with Democrats to have this stopgap funding bill. And because of that, just like Kevin McCarthy was booted from his role as a House Speaker, we once again might have a few Republicans decide to go ahead and remove Mike Johnson, which again, we might be in another situation where we're, waiting weeks, if not months, to elect a new House Speaker because the Republicans in the House can't exactly seem to get along with each other, and they can't seem to find, I guess, their leader who will best represent them. So it shows right here that Johnson's recent endorsement of a bipartisan spending agreement has infuriated a small group of conservatives who are demanding that he retract his support for the deal and draft another proposal featuring sharper cuts to federal programs. So they want more cuts in this government funding bill. And we basically have Representative Chip Roy and Marjorie Taylor Greene who are floating the possibility that conservatives would file a motion to vacate the Speaker's chair if Johnson does not satisfy their demands. And basically, Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming out and saying that she would consider such a motion to vacate Mike Johnson's seat if they end up sending more aid over to Ukraine, which she says that we should not have to pretty much negotiate spending on our border, that we should spend on our border regardless whether or not we send another $60 billion over to Ukraine. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that ultimately Mike Johnson is also going to be removed from his House Speaker role? And how long do you think it's going to take to elect a new House Speaker? Just more chaos in Washington. Now, meanwhile, it's 2024 and we have some more stimulus checks going out. These are going to be worth up to $1,600 for couples. We're going to be covering the 5 states that are going to be sending out payments this year, once again in 2024. So the first state is going to be in Arizona. So in Arizona, about 743,000 residents have cash up for grabs due to a new rebate approved by Governor Katie Hobbs. The rebate will give eligible taxpayers $250 per dependent they claim over the age of 17. Altogether, the maximum allowed rebate is $750. So it is going to be up to 3 dependents, once again over the age of 17, not under the age of 17. Then over in California, California residents also have something to celebrate as the new year is underway. That's because a one-time tax credit of up to $3,600 is available. Beyond just the initial tax credit, California also offers a, quote, young child tax credit worth up to $1,083. To qualify, you must also be approved for the California Earned Income Tax Credit and have a child below the age of 6. Then over in Colorado, those living in Colorado won't miss out on rebate tax payments in 2024 either. Eligible single filers will see $847, while couples filing jointly can score $1,694 courtesy of the Tabor refund. In previous years, Tabor checks were dependent on your income level, but 2024 marks the first time that all taxpayers will see that same amount. And according to the IRS, recently they just came out and said that these Tabor checks going out in Colorado will not be taxed at the federal level, so obviously that's good news. More of this money you will get to keep in your pocket. Then over in Maryland, this month Maryland residents could see some extra money courtesy of the yearly child tax credit. The credit is worth up to $500 per child and will target families with a child below age 6 or with a disability. The state said that about 40,000 taxpayers are eligible, as residents must have a federally adjusted gross income of $15,000 or less to qualify. So to get this money, you must earn $15,000 or less, whereas at the federal level with the child tax credit, you actually have to earn a certain amount to receive the full refundable amount. Then finally, over in New Mexico taxpayers could see a rebate check of up to $1,000 this year. The payment will go out to everyone who has filed their 2021 tax return by May 31st, 2024, and has not been claimed as a dependent on another tax return. Single filers get $500, while couples filing jointly can expect up to $1,000. Then, of course, not mentioned in this video, but residents over in Alaska will receive, I guess, a stimulus check as well, kind of like their yearly dividend that they are receiving. And then we also have some big news coming up probably later on this month. It looks like congressional leaders are close to reaching a deal where they would be expanding the child tax credit once again. Just a couple of years ago, we had those monthly payments going out of $250 to $300 depending on the age of your child. It looks like once again they might be expanding those child tax credit deals, where I'm not sure if you would actually get them on a monthly basis like we were back then, but they may actually be increased, and they would also make it so even the smallest earners would get the full refundable credit as well. Nothing final here, but we are seeing headlines that they are getting closer. I'm going to have more on this probably later on in the week, but that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.